Well, folks, as always, I have my two trusty colleagues here, and welcome to Noel's World of Whiskey. Hi, how's it going there, Vern? And of course, where's our other buddy there? Oh, Sparky, hair of the dog. You've been into it early. You know what? You couldn't wait, could you? I hope you're in good enough shape for the review. If you want to skip the history, just scroll ahead for the We're going to find ourselves one of the oldest distilleries in Scotland. Founded in 1797 in the grain capital area of Aberdeenshire, in the old town of O'Meldrum. In fact, the town was built around this distillery, Glen Garioch Distillery. Well, folks, welcome again to Noel's World of Whiskey. And we are going to do a review on another Glen Garioch. This is actually one that I got familiar with many years ago, and it's been one of my go-to favorites and priced ridiculously low for what you're getting. And I had done the 18, but I wanted to leave a little bit of room between the 18 and this because I didn't think it would be fair to have them back to back. So let's get ready for a review on the 12. And I'm trying to get through these fairly fast. Again, see if we can kind of condense them a bit. So let's get right into pouring. And what can I say about the whiskey? It is 48% ABV, non-chill filtered, no coloring added, and somewhere between $62 and $67 when I purchased it. I think it was $62.95. There was a sale. Ridiculous. Like this, these are prices like that go back 10 years. So anyways, maybe McAllen's can listen to this one because I'm really going to be kind of comparing this with the Macallan's sherry, which I just did a review on. So, okay, the nose. Lots of nose, and I'm getting the Mena's, the Pedro Mena's sherry casks. We're getting, we're getting a little bit of that, pineapple, pear, apricot stuff. You get from this drink. It's got a lot of the big fruits. The fresh fruits, a bit of applesauce maybe, but a little bit more on the ripe side, maybe even overripe. It's actually a very malty drink, eh? And definitely, I always get the vanilla. Always get the vanilla in this this 12. Now we're going to do some exploring. So we're getting a wee bit of coconut, and you get the barley, you get the malt, but we're also getting a little bit of floral stuff in the background there. So let's pull it away and give the nose a little chance to clear. I was up on the hill. I just got down. I was doing the Nordic track. So I'm fresh. I do have a kind of a bad back. I kind of might have pushed it a bit. We're going to see. But it was sure nice up there. So anyways, let's get back at her again. So that floral thing, it's like, it's a bright floral note, aroma there. And I'm getting a wee bit of, again, when it seems that the dark chocolate in the background. Maybe even a little bit of peppermint. Dark chocolate, peppermint. What is that chocolate? The thins, yeah. A dark mint chocolate. And I'm not getting any peat, so we know it's if there is peat in it, it's pretty low percentage. So a bit of wood, just a bit of wood, but not like the 18 Renaissance Chapter 4. Not anything close to that. It's got a really nice nose. So we're going to go after the palate. Like I say, we're going to try streamline this one here. I have drank quite a few bottles of this, so it's the first time I've ever reviewed it. So let's see how well I do here. Sláinte. There's definitely a lot of body to this. Whenever I have the 12 here, it has a wee bit of impact because it is a 48%, and we can tone it down a notch with water, but I won't overdo it. But we'll just sort of play around with this the way it is right now at 48 ABV, and then we'll maybe add a touch of water. So I'm getting it's oily. But it's thick. It's creamy. The stewed pears with honey. And that malt's there, and it's pretty thick. It's pretty heavy, and it's kind of the sweetness. I talked about the floral and all that, but it's the sweetness. I mean, sort of when I say floral, it's almost like a perfume with the nose there when I was when I was nosing it, and that's what I meant by the floral. Now I'm tasting. I know you can't taste, you don't really taste perfume, but it's more like a perfume sweetness, or how can we describe it? It's just got a little something flowery about it. If you were eating flowers or you know, something like that, sweet flowers, maybe that's what it would be. I've never eaten flowers, so I don't know, but I'll identify it. Give me a chance. This is the first shot I've done reviewing this, so it's probably the first I've really noticed that. But maybe lavender? Yeah. Like, you know, I'm going by what I smell lavender. You know, I smell perfumes, I smell flowers, but you don't eat them. So it's kind of, if you were tasting them, what would they taste like? So, like heather, you know. But anyways, hazelnut fudge maybe, and Macintosh's toffee. Definitely, I think when I first started identifying Macintosh's toffee, I think it was with this guy. So, I'm going to have to top up here. Something I can say about this is that the first shot I have of this, and especially if I haven't drank all day or haven't drank in a few days, it hits me. The 48 kind of hits me. And it's not the 48. I drink 56s and all that stuff, and it has it's a thick drink. It's oily. It's got some impact to it at first, and maybe not everybody likes that. I do. I really do. But the second shot, it doesn't hit me like that, and I start really tasting the sugars and we talked about the stewed fruits and that, you know, and the honey, the vanilla fudge, the creamy vanilla fudge with that canned milk that we used to use. I forget what it was called. It wasn't Carnations, but it was a canned milk we used to. We were making fudge. What the heck was that stuff? But it really made the fudge really creamy, and that's what you get out of this drink. It's like got so much body. I mean, it's a 12-year-old whiskey that we're paying $62, $67 for. 48%. It smacks you. It gives you a lot of stuff for that price. So we're now getting, we're sort of getting toward the end here, and I'm getting a little tangerine stuff, maybe pink grapefruit, and I am getting olive oil, a little bit of the olive oil mixed in there, and maybe that's a bit of the herbal stuff that I always identify with this. So interesting, very interesting. So I think it's time now for the finish. So to the finish. Oh, I'm getting the licorice now. Licorice and the spices. Yeah. And maybe the pepper. I usually get the pepper. It'd be black pepper. Dark chocolate. A little bit of coffee. Slight bit of tobacco in the background. Not like the... was the last one I was reviewing there that was the tomatin. The tomatin, it had that coffee, and then the tobacco toward the tail end of it. But this is very slight, very slight. It's disappeared. I'm not tasting it anymore. But there's that lavender again. And you know, if you've had almond peanut butter, licorice and almond peanut butter, that mix. The finish is fairly long. This is a long finish. I'm impressed with the finish. I've never really identified how long this finish was before. Like I say, this is the first time I reviewed it, and I'm impressed. So yeah, there's more stuff there's more layers here than what, I probably because I haven't reviewed it before, I've never really identified all these different layers, but man, it's got all sorts of bits and pieces there on the finish that it should be gone by now, but I'm still getting a little bit of stuff, so it's fading now. It's definitely fading now, so I mean, that's good enough. I mean, I'm impressed with this whiskey. I said I was going to condense this. I've drank a few bottles through the years of this stuff here because of the price, because it's a good whiskey. I am going to right off the bat say this is a definitely an 86. Why? Because I drank enough of it and I keep going back to it. And it's not just the price. There's some very affordable whiskeys out there and I don't drink them because I don't like them or I don't think they're quality. And I think this is quality. I don't know how Glen Garioch does it. I don't know how Glen Garioch is able to, I paid $62 for this. $62. Now I know it's 67-ish in the liquor store, but how do they do it? 48%. I mean, it's a tasty whiskey. This has good reviews. There's a few of the reviewers that have a hard time understanding it. I said I was going to add a little water, and I will before we leave. I've already given it a mark. So let's just do a little water just to see. I said it can tame it a little bit, but it can also bring out a few things. So let's just see what it does. We'll try a little nose. And as always, it really brings out the sweetness. But it does bring out that lavender. And, licorice. Licorice and lavender. And there's something there, I can't identify what it is. If I had more time, I would figure it out. But anyways, let's to the palate. Damn it, that water really does a number to it. I mean, I know I say you don't add too much water, don't do this, don't do that with water, but I didn't add that much. I added a very small amount, and wow, does it open up. I'm impressed. Sweet. And I was telling you about the hazelnuts. Wow. This is turned into a dessert. Oh, amazing. I am very impressed with this. I don't usually add water to it. Maybe I will, in the future a little bit more. It took a review for me to add a bit of water to it. I've served a company that's added water, but you don't need a lot of water. I only added a little bit there. I'm impressed. So anyways, 86 is my score. I think this is somebody said, this is a well-kept secret, don't tell anybody. I think more people are discovering this. It's the best deal out there. It's one of the best values out there. How does it compare with the Macallan Sherry? They're two different whiskeys. Definitely two different whiskeys, but I'm going to do a shootout between the two of them. How does it compare in price? Well, I can buy two and then some have change for a bottle of wine. I can buy two of these and have change for a bottle of wine for one Macallan Sherry cask. And I do like the Sherry cask, but you know what? You could spend $400, you could spend $1,000 on a whiskey. And you could say, oh, that's a hell of a good whiskey. But is it for the price? And that's why when I'm giving a score, I want to include the price, because the price, I think, is a player. It's a very important player, especially nowadays with whiskey going up. And with some of the whiskeys that we used to be able to afford that we can't afford anymore. So this is a heck of a deal. It's an 86. It deserves at least an 86. And maybe somebody else is going to give it more. Probably Ralphie will give it more. But anyways, that is my review. Thanks for coming. I want you to drink wisely and intelligently. Do not drink and drive. And until the next time, Sláinte.